wrote me a love letter, he wrote me a book, he wrote me a song, and I was like, wow, like he's putting this much effort into me, like a month into knowing him. He must love me.
So Landon's ex-girlfriend Abby spoke out about their tumultuous relationship and strange timeline, where in a matter of a few days, Landon went from flying out after his ex looking for closure to meeting Wizard Liz at the airport, claiming it was destiny, and getting engaged just 1 month later. I have recently made a video about the Wizard Liz and Landon cheating scandal, where I broke down the entire relationship timeline from start to finish. So if you don't know anything about the story, you can watch that first before continuing with this video.
The Wizard Liz just responded to Abby, the ex of her husband Landon, and it's so messy, calling her a liar.
There are many people theorizing about the topic and taking sides. Some are siding with Abby, some with Landon, and some with Wizard Liz. All of them have spoken out on the matter, so let's take a look at what they had to say and who is actually telling the truth.
There's just so much that I want to get off my chest, so you know in detail with screenshots, because I have every screenshot, I have receipts, and we dated for a year from 2023 to 2024. I was physically abused by this man, I was mentally abused by this man. He took my past trauma and made me feel so safe and heard and understood, and I fell for it because I was stupid and codependent and idiotic, and I have no more shame anymore.
So Abby claims that she was in a relationship with Landon from 2023 until 2024, while Wizard Liz and Landon got engaged in September 2024, which confirms that his relationship with Abby and Liz didn't align and did not happen at the same time, but rather immediately one after another. Abby says she met him in 2023 while working as a bottle girl. She mentioned at the time she was single and dealing with a lot of trauma from previous relationships and unresolved wounds from her parental figures.
I met him, I was a bottle girl, he came all the time, everyone said he was known for being the sweetest person. My guard was already up, I was 3 months abstinent, I was not in a relationship, I ended up getting a lot of trauma that happened to me, and I was broken, I was hurt, I had a unresolved wound from my parental figures, with a disorganized attachment style, with a severe codependent issue. I experienced something that I wish no one has ever in their life would go through.
This is very similar to Wizard Liz, who has also frequently spoken in her past videos about family issues and unresolved childhood trauma.
My mom went from being at the height of everything to having nothing, and now she has children that she needs to take care of, right? And she was in a marriage with a man that her and gave her no money, nothing at all.
Abby and Landon officially started dating in August 23, similar to Wizard Liz, who started dating in August 24. Abby mentions that at the time, Landon was very loving and caring and made her feel safe very quickly. This made her feel like she had finally gotten the guy she always prayed for. Landon also introduced her to manifesting and spirituality, which made her feel very emotional and deeply connected. Shortly after the start of Landon and Abby's relationship, Abby reveals that Landon cheated on her with a girl named Nadia. He later apologized, hoping he could still fix the relationship. Sounds familiar?
I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that I don't love Liz. I love her with my entire heart, and we have a baby on the way. And over the last 10 months, I have done everything I can to give this person all that I can and to make her happy and do all of this. And regardless of how much I care, I made a mistake.
Later on, Abby talks about the love bombing she experienced after she decided to call it quits with Landon. She states that he wrote her love letters, love books, and songs, and even sent her thousands of flowers in an attempt to win her back. Mind you, all of this happened within just a month of being together.
He wrote me a book, he wrote me a song, he came to my house with thousands of flowers every time he messed up, and he just swooned me back in, and I was like, wow, like he's putting this much effort into me, like a month into knowing him. He must love me.
This is again very similar to what happened with Wizard Liz. She claims that Landon also wrote her a book while at the same time he was setting up a fake Snapchat account and messaging another woman. And of course, he was love bombing Liz from the very beginning, getting her gifts and telling her he loves her and he wants to marry her and she's his perfect girl. Abby also claims that Landon cheated on her approximately 7 times and she took him back each time, eventually becoming pregnant by him.
Like, why was I ever so broken and so alone and so hurt and so desperate to love, to lick a knife of love off of a man? Like, he fed me nothing but lies. His words never correlated with his actions, so I was sacrificing my boundaries to attune to his freaking words because his freaking actions were like below average.
She further alleges that he manipulated her into believing she had BPD, which stands for borderline personality disorder.
And we went to therapy. He found a therapist that specialized in BPD. He told me that I had BPD, and she looked at me, she's like, girl, you do not have BPD. You're too self-aware. You're too empathetic. That doesn't even make sense.
What's interesting is that Landon responded to her video in his post by stating that she's unstable and mentally ill, therefore shouldn't be trusted. This can suggest one of two things. Either Abby genuinely has BPD or another mental health condition, or Landon did in fact manipulate her into believing she had it at the time. This is quite similar to the situation with Wizard Liz. Both Abby and Liz mentioned going to therapy, both spoke about dealing with past trauma, and both are notably spiritual. This points to a clear pattern or preference in the type of partners Landon seems to pursue.
Like, you're the perfect girl for me, and I always wanted to be the perfect guy for a girl like you.
Abby shows emails she received from Landon after she blocked him, emails that were very chaotic and emotional. In them, he clearly admits to cheating on her but says he's getting better now. What's also strange to me is that in those emails, he swears he will love her until the day he dies if she takes him back. Yet, just a few months later, he proposes to another girl, claiming the exact same thing. If you truly love someone, you don't just jump ship in a matter of months and suddenly be so in love with someone else. It just seems like Landon doesn't really understand what love actually is. He appears to be very obsessive with each girlfriend he has, quickly proclaiming his love, but not really following through. His actions constantly tell a very different story than his words. Abby goes on to say that after all the drama, she decided to take her dream vacation in Europe. She traveled all over having fun with her friends. But when she found herself in Ibiza, Landon was apparently there as well, begging her to take him back and even making a scene in the middle of Sephora in front of her now current boyfriend, according to her story. Abby reveals that she saw Landon at the exact same club she was in with her now current boyfriend, suggesting that he was stalking her while she was in Europe.
He sees us at a club. He sends 5 guys that he was with and one of his bodyguard to go fight my boyfriend. This is what happened at the club. I don't remember the name. It was a massive club. We had a great table. I'm just sitting there. I freeze the second time. I'm like, how the frick does this man have me so terrified when I'm so like safe? Like, I'm next to this guy. I'm so safe. I'm in control. I have the power. I freeze. He's like, I'm gonna talk to you, Abby. I'm emailing you. I'm texting you. Whatever he says, and I'm freaking out.
Interestingly, some TikTok detectives found his timeline suspiciously accurate. If you look at the dates, Abby was in Greece from the end of July through the beginning of August, something her Instagram stories confirm. Then, on July 27, she received an email from Landon asking for closure. Just a few days later, in August, Landon met Wizard Liz at the airport in Greece. So, if Abby is lying about him stalking her, it's a very strange coincidence for Landon to be in the exact same country at the exact same time, just days after emailing her. Landon responded to Abby's claims on his Instagram story, defending himself. He also DM'd her demanding that she delete the video or she would be sued. In one of his posts, he even brought up that he's not the Joe Goldberg of the internet. He said this in response to Abby's claims that You was his favorite show. If you don't know who Joe Goldberg is, he is this intense intense, obsessive, nerdy young man who frequently becomes smitten with beautiful, smart women, uses social media, the internet, and every tool at his disposal to become close to the woman of his dreams, often crossing boundaries in the process. Landon responded with his own receipts, claiming that Abby was the one manipulating and cheating on him. He shared text exchanges in which she admits to being involved with other guys during their relationships, and also posted pictures suggesting that she was towards him. Landon went on to present further evidence, labeling Abby as a pathological liar and attempting to discredit her claims entirely. Abby posts her last and final video, in which she states that Landon had reached out to her family, asking them to convince her to take down the videos. After her videos went viral, many people questioned her motives, asking why, if everything she said was true, she hadn't reached out to Liz to warn her. Abby responds by saying that at the time, it appeared online that Liz and Landon were in a happy and healthy relationship. She didn't want to interfere or strip Liz of that happiness. She also believed that Liz was strong enough to handle it if Landon ever looked the other way.
I didn't say anything online for a reason. She, to my knowledge, was in a happy, healthy relationship, and I'm not going to strip someone of that. Like I always say, everyone gets to know a version of you because you keep on healing and you keep on becoming a better person. So in my eyes, I was like, he's engaged to a woman that if he looked the other way, she would drop him. So like, of course he has to be on his best behavior. He healed from everything that he did to me. He's moving on in life. Thank the Lord, because I'm already moved on.
Abby also makes claims that she received an anonymous call from Wizard Liz at the beginning of October 24. She then shows a DM she sent to Liz on November 12th, explaining who Landon was and what her experience with him had been. However, Liz never replied. Wizard Liz responded to the allegations, siding with Landon and claiming that Abby is a liar and a cheater who is allegedly in a relationship with a married sugar daddy. Liz firmly stated that she has never called Abby, has never seen any DMs from her, and that when she attempted to reach out personally, Abby had already blocked her, making it impossible for Liz to contact her in the first place. She went on to say that cheaters should date cheaters and leave other people out of their mess, as she now tries to move on and navigate this new reality with a baby on the way. It is absolutely possible that Wizard Liz didn't see Abby's DM. She receives a large number of messages from fans, as Abby mentioned herself.
I'm a girl's girl to the end of the day, and then I thought, and I kept on having nightmares being like, no, I have to say something because she knows about me one way or the other, and I have to like warn her because I wish someone would have warned me. I wish I wasn't so blind, and she's smarter than me and she has more of an intuition. I have intuition. I have a sick intuition, but I never listened to it, and now I'm never going to forget that gut feeling in my stomach, because I know that's a part that not a lot of people have. So it took me a month to even wanting to respond to her, but I did DM her and I did try to warn her, and she didn't answer. Like, she's fucking famous, you know, like she probably didn't see it. I didn't know to DM anyone else. I was just like, you know what, I tried, it's off my hands.
It's also possible that Landon spoke to Liz about his ex early on in their relationship, so if he painted Abby in this negative light, it wouldn't be surprising if Liz already had a biased view of her and didn't want to believe or even entertain Abby's messages in the first place. Now, when it comes to Landon, the evidence clearly suggests that he did follow or stalk his ex-girlfriend to Europe under the pretense of seeking closure. He also appears to repeat the same patterns over and over again, finding a girl, quickly proclaiming his love for her, and then struggling to let go, even when he's the one at fault for cheating. He follows it up with apologies and promises that this time will be the last. Landon cheated on Abby, especially considering he tried to do the same thing with Wizard Liz, which he admitted to. However, based on the evidence Landon has provided, it's also very likely that Abby cheated on him as well. At the end of the day, there's always two sides to every story, and the truth usually lies somewhere in the middle. This brings me to the final point. Looking at how your partner treated their exes is incredibly important. Falling for love bombing, expensive gifts, and sweet words early in a relationship can be very dangerous. As Wizard Liz herself admitted, there were red flags she chose to ignore and she didn't follow her intuition, while paradoxically claiming that she has been completely blindsided inspired by him. Either way, it's always better to take your time, observe, and wait for the person's true colors to show before making any serious decisions such as getting married or starting a family.
Cut it. No, imagine you go through his phone and you see he DM'd so many girls, but then you realize you were the one that answered.